Hi, I'm Paul Nealon, the founder, president, and chief engineer for AquaRevival. We manufacture the award-winning 304L stainless steel regenerative media filters, strainers, piping systems, and components designed to improve aquatics venue uptime, safer water, and control. I have authored over 24 U.S. and foreign patents on regenerative media filtration technology and related innovations stretching back to my time with Neptune Benson between 2013 and 2016 and with my company AquaRevival since 2017. We're going to discuss today is the great derating of 2023. One of the things that's created a lot of attention lately is the 2023 release of NSF ANSI Can 50, the essence of which is all filter types are now measured by bare square footage. What this means is that just like backwashed sandbed filters are measured by the horizontal surface area, minus any combined area of obstructions greater than 1/4 of an inch, and cartridge filters are measured by the total surface area, minus the combined area of any obstructions greater than 1/4 inch, or membrane filters, which are the same as cartridge filters. That's it. Everyone is now on the same footing, be it backwashed sandbed, cartridge, membrane, and now regenerative media, also known as precoat media filters. Some manufacturers have claimed this change caught them off guard, which is laughable. The language was discussed for over 12 years, back to my time working at Neptune Benson from 2013 into 2016, when we sold the business to Evoqua. What these manufacturers had done for years was claim the outer surface area of the perlite or DE media as the effective surface area. That led to specification wars whereby manufacturers using a large amount of media, say greater than 1/4 inch wet thickness, excluded manufacturers who used an 1/8 inch wet thickness, and vice versa. Neptune Benson has had their filters derated in March of this year, 2026, by just over 33% to correct for the bare surface area reporting requirement. Ironically, this update was possibly triggered by them chasing AquaRevival for a 3 GPM per square foot filtration rating, along with cryptosporidium parvo removal, which AquaRevival were the first in the world to achieve both and have had it for several years now. The kicker for fiberglass and every other manufacturer of commercial regenerative media filters is that they too will be derated by the same 33% because their filtration tubes are basically the same configuration as Neptune Benson. Paddock, who uses the most regenerative media per square footage, has even smaller diameter filtration septums, recently tested with IAT mode of the NSF 50 ANSI Can 50 standard and simultaneously increased their max filtration rate to 3 GPM per square foot, but was derated 38% on the square footage side. In an interesting twist, checking the Paddock website, I found that they are claiming on a cell sheet both element uncoated surface area, which is what NSF 50 Can 50 prescribes, and an element coated surface area, which is what was abolished with the 2023 release of NSF ANSI Can 50. They do have a footnote on the page which states, effective filtration area is defined as, per the Model Aquatic Health Code, MAHC, the effective filtration area of a regenerative media filter is the total surface area of the filtration elements that is actively coated with filtration media, for example, perlite or DE, and available for particle removal during normal filter operation. However, what the Model Aquatic Health Code really says is, and I quote from page 75 for educational purposes, sections 4.7, pressure precoat. The design filtration rate for pressure precoat filters should not be greater than 2 GPM per square foot, 4.9 meters per hour of effective surface area, and section 4.7.2, calculate filtration surface area, shall be based on the outside surface area of the media with the manufacturer's recommended thickness of precoat media and consistent with their NSF 50 listing and labeling. Concisely put, labeling on commercial regenerative media filters is not optional or open for interpretation. The label must state the uncoated surface area. Full stop. The text of NSF ANSI Can 50 2025 adds for precoat media filters, aka regenerative filters, and this is for educational purposes only, 6.2.6 data plate, 6.2.6.1. A precoat media filter shall have a data plate that is permanent, easy to read, and securely attached to the filter housing at a readily accessible location. The data plate shall contain the following information: manufacturer's name and contact information, address, phone number, website, or prime supplier, filter model number, filter serial number, effective filtration area in square meters or square feet. If applicable, the statement, this precoat filter utilizes tube elements and the effective filtration area represents the uncoated area. Required clearance, vertical and horizontal, and maintenance, design flow rate in liters per meter or gallons per minute, working pressure, if applicable, steps of operation. Something else I heard a regional manager for Neptune Benson say on a podcast was, and I quote, NSF is a foundational testing agency for the aquatics and like other industries. Like they do drinking water, they do a lot of different testing. That's all they focus on. They aren't a regulatory agency, though. So they try to design their testing around what the regulations are. And what's interesting about this upcoming change is the regulations don't reflect the testing. There was more, but you get the idea. This is absolute hogwash, as my grandfather would say. While NSF isn't a regulatory body, why do we all comply with the NSF 50 ANSI CAN 50 labeling requirements listed above? The answer is because NSF is a standards developer and a third-party certifier who tests and certifies the product to verify they meet the standards. Regulatory bodies like FDA, EPA, OSHA are government agencies that write and enforce laws and mandatory regulations. Same for the state health inspectors you mentioned later in the podcast. They look to NSF when inspecting the pump room. You cannot get away from the fact that state health inspectors are going to look to the standards developer and third-party certifier when inspecting the pump room for compliance to state standards, which in many cases are lifted from NSF 50, ANSI CAN 50, and or the Model Aquatic Health Code. NSF works alongside regulators. While government agencies often adopt NSF standards into their official codes, NSF itself only provides voluntary testing, evaluation, and certification. Therefore, NSF testing exactly matches the language of NSF ANSI CAN 50 standard. It's also why the Model Aquatic Health Code defers to the labeling requirements and a multitude of other things that NSF ANSI CAN 50 standard prescribes. It is maddening that somebody would knowingly say such things in an attempt to confuse the marketplace. Don't you fall for it. Your state health inspector will not fall for it. AquaRevival filters were designed from the beginning from a blank sheet of paper, considering all the Achilles heels of previous designs. Our filters will never be derated because they were designed from the beginning with bare tube square footage listed by NSF ANSI CAN 50. This means for you, the operator, the owner, you will never worry about if you can replace your AquaRevival filter with a standard 15-year warranty and maintain your filtration rating. The same cannot be said for any other manufacturer. In fact, some jurisdictions have already said that those manufacturers who are or were derated will not be able to replace their filters like for like because the effective filtration area has now put their filtration rate above 2 GPM per square foot, which is the law of the land in many jurisdictions, referencing the Model Aquatic Health Code as we discussed earlier. Across the United States and some other countries who look to NSF ANSI CAN 50 as the gold standard for safe water. I hope this clarifies the situation. All filters are now measured by bare surface area. It's just that simple. Have a blessed day in the Lord.